nails, hair, hips, heels, ass, fat, lips, real, purse, full, big bills, bitch, I'm a big deal.
Hello guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. First and foremost, I'd like to send well wishes to everyone out there. I hope that everyone is safe during these troubling times, and I hope that they will be over sooner rather than later. That being said, I need you guys to do me a big old favor and hit that subscribe button. Hit it right now and give this video a big old thumbs up. Now, what we're here for is I'm going to show you how it is. I customized and installed this very, very, very beautiful and very, very, very affordable water wave wig by ISEE here. So if you want the deets, keep watching. Keep watching. So the hair that we're going to be using today, guys, is ISEE hair. It is their Princess Series collection. It is Brazilian water wave hair and it is curly. This video is not sponsored by ISEE hair. I bought this wig myself. Normally I would make one, but because I wanted to test out the curly hair first, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like curly hair. I decided I'll just buy one already pre-made. So let's see exactly what it is looking like right out of the package. So first off, I can definitely tell that I'm going to love this wig because I am in love with these curls. They are actually gorgeous. It's a little curlier than I thought it was going to be, but I actually love it. It is 26 inches long. It is water wave, great for vacation. That's what I plan on using it for. It is full all the way through to the ends. It is 180% density. This is a transparent lace wig. As you guys can see, it's a little bit too ashy for my skin tone, so I'm gonna have to tint that or put makeup on it or something, but this is what it's looking like. It is a 13x4 lace frontal. It does have combs. It has 4 combs. There are 2 on the side, 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top, and then you also have the 2 the 2 adjustable bands. So the way I like to start getting my unit ready for bleaching is you're going to want to just spray around the perimeter of the hairline so that we can get any flyaways out of the way. This way they do not accidentally get bleached. Once we have the flyaways taken care of, we're going to use our canvas block head. Normally, if this were bundles, I would lay it on a flat surface on some aluminum foil and bleach it that way, but since it's pre-made, it's a lot easier and a lot more convenient to just pin her to the canvas block head and do it that way. So once we have her pinned down and we have her in place, we are going to begin bleaching. And today we're going to be using our Quick Blue powder and our 40 volume developer. You can use whatever one you want. I like to use 40 and I like this powder best. I think it bleaches evenly. We need a bowl and something to mix with, and I'm going to be using 2 scoops of the powder, and I'm going to just pretty much eyeball the developer. I'm used to working with 13x6 frontals, so I pretty much know how much powder and developer I need, but since this is a 13x4, I kind of didn't factor that in, so I used a little bit too much, so a little bit of it went to waste, but it's okay. So you just eyeball your developer, do a little bit at a time, and then mix it up and see what it's like. And if you need more, then you can add more developer. If you make a mistake and it's too runny, you can just go back in and add a little bit more powder until you get to the consistency you want. Some people say a cake-like consistency, like a cake batter consistency. I think it should be a little bit thicker, but you'll be able to tell. Once I have it mixed to my liking, I like to use a butter knife and just spread it all over the lace. Now when you're doing this, you want to be careful to make sure you're spreading it on firm enough so that it's actually making contact with the knots, but not too firm where it's actually going through the lace and bleaching the roots of the hair. So if it's your first time, it's probably better to make the mixture a little bit thicker than it needs to be. just so that you don't have the accident or you don't have the risk of it going through the lace and bleaching the roots of the hair. So you're gonna just spread this all over the lace. You want to get it up above the hairline. I like to come up a little bit above the hairline just to be sure everything is actually bleached. You're gonna do the same thing to the other side, making sure not to push too hard and push it through. And we're not making a mistake to bleach the roots. I mean, if we do, you can always just bleach it. I mean, you can always just dye it back, but you know, to avoid that, just go on and take your time and don't push too hard. After we do this, you want to put on a timer. It is very important to use a timer, and I usually go in for about 15 minutes, but you want to make sure you're checking it before the 15 minutes is up. I would say every couple of minutes, check it to see, because some hair does bleach a lot faster than others. Also, it depends on what volume developer you're using. So some units are actually stubborn and they take longer, so you may need more than 15 minutes, you may need less, but make sure you're checking in between the 15 minutes so that you don't make a mistake and over bleach the knots. So we're going to leave her here on this canvas block head for 15 minutes, and then we are going to rinse her out. Okay, so now we are rinsing the bleach out. As you can see, it's still nice and curly. It's held its pattern. And when you're rinsing, you want to make sure you use cold water. I find that cold water is best. Squeeze the water out. Make sure you're rinsing it really good. Turn it inside out. Get inside the cap and everything, because if you don't rinse it good, because it was made with a powder, once it dries, it will have like a powdery residue all in the hair, and it'll give it a dull look. So make sure you're rinsing it really well. Really well. And squeeze the extra water out. When we're done doing that, we're going to go in with our conditioner and our Denman brush. I personally like to saturate my unit with the TRESemme 7 times moisture rich conditioner. Guys, I got this from Target for about $5. That is a really good price for that really big jar. It lasts me a long time. I just detangle the hair while it has the conditioner in it with my Denman brush, and I usually sit it down and just leave it for about 15-20 minutes. I actually had something to do, so I think I actually left mine in for about an hour, but that's fine. And now we are going to rinse all of this conditioner out. As I'm squeezing down the hair, you see all of that conditioner. That shows you just how much I saturated it. So you want to make sure, again, you're using cold water and you are rinsing it really well, because if you don't, again, you will have residue in your hair and it'll be dry looking and it'll be weighed down. So just take your time and rinse it really well. Use your Denman brush and brush through it, and you just want to keep doing this until the water runs clear, and make sure that you are squeezing the extra water out of the hair as opposed to using a towel and drying it like in a rubbing motion. You want to keep the curls intact. You don't want to cause any more frizz than need be. So we're going to just squeeze this extra water out, and then we're going to go back to start customizing. We're going to pluck the frontal to our liking, and then we will install it. So now we are ready to pluck the frontal. Once again, after she's after she's conditioned, this is what she's looking like. She held her curl pattern. It's still really nice. We're gonna put her on our dome head again because that's just a lot more convenient. Some people like to pluck once it's on their head. I pretty much like to do it when it's on the dome head. Now you want to try to get this as centered as you could and just pin it into place. I then like to take my brush once I have her pinned into place and just brush it back and get all of the stray hairs out of the way. You want to have it as slicked back as much as you possibly can before you start plucking. I like to go in the middle because I wear a middle part, so I like to part it down the middle and try to get it as, centered as I could. If you find that you need to adjust it anymore because it's not in the center, you can do that after it's dry. And yeah, so make sure you guys have a nice sharp tweezer. You don't want to use a dull tweezer. I usually get my tweezers from Sally's Beauty Supply, but you can get yours from Walmart. You can get yours from your local beauty supply, wherever. So I like to go in and just part it out as if I was pulling baby hair out. This unit was it already had baby hairs in it. I'm sorry guys, I can't even talk. So I just start plucking. Now the key to plucking is you want to make sure you keep your hand moving. You do not want to stay in the same place for too long, or you definitely will overpluck and have bald spots. So it is very important to keep your hand moving up and down that frontal of where you made the part. And it is also important to brush or comb it through every few minutes after you pluck, so you can see just how much it is you plucked out. Because if not, you will keep going and you'll wind up over plucking and you'll have a bald spot. So then you want to part it again a little bit further back this time so you can get that gradient effect. And again, you're going to just do the same thing. You're going to pluck, 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 pluck. Keep your hand moving, keep brushing, keep combing so you can see how much is coming out, because again, when the unit is wet, the hair comes out much easier than if you was plucking while it was dry. I like to pluck when it's wet because the hair comes out easier. Some units, however, is easier to pluck when they're dry. So for beginners, I would recommend plucking when it's dry. Try not to do it when it's wet if you are a beginner, because you will overpluck. I've done it before. So this is what this side is looking like. And now we're going to flip her over and we're going to do the same exact thing to this side. You are going to pluck. You are going to comb or brush the excess hair out so you can get a visual of how much you've plucked out, and if you need to pluck more in certain areas or if you're fine. I like to underpluck and then wait for it to dry, and when I install it, if it looks like I need to pluck more, then I'll do it that way. I would rather underpluck than overpluck, because once you overpluck, unless you can put it in a style of hide a bald spot, there's nothing that you can do about it. And ain't nobody got time to be wasting money on units and then can't wear them because you made a mistake and overplucked. So just take your time, and less is more. If you need to pluck more, do so once it's dry. Again, I would recommend, if you're a beginner, pluck it when it's dry. You get a better visual of actually what you've actually done and if you need to do anything else. And I'm sorry for my arm, guys. And make sure you keep that hand moving. Do not pluck too much in the same spot. And make sure you're brushing to get that hair out so you can see what it is that you've accomplished. So far, this is what she's looking like. I'm gonna leave her like this for now. Although there was a spot that I feel like I could have probably went in and did a little bit more, but I, again, will wait until she's dry and I get her on, and I'll do it that way. So now we're gonna let it dry overnight and we'll be back to install her. Okay, so it is the next day. These are my braids. Yes, they look dry and they're old, but we're gonna work with it. The only thing I did was I put got to be on my edges to hold them back. And this is what the unit is looking like dry. I mean, she was big, she did get fluffy, and I'm not gonna lie, she looks a little bit frizzy because I was playing in it, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It held its curl, and the only thing I did off camera was I put makeup on the lace, because remember I told you it was a bit ashy, so I did add makeup, and I did close up those adjustable straps in the back because the wig was actually too big for my head. My circumference head size is a 21 inch. Most standard wigs come 22, 22 and a half. Some vendors do give you the option to select your cap size. However, this vendor did not, so it was a bit big, but it's okay, we can work with it. So we're gonna get her on. This is what she's looking like with the makeup. I like it. You're gonna put it on and you're gonna try to get it as much in the middle as you possibly could, as centered as you could, and you're gonna again clip it back to get any flyaways out of the way. so that we don't cut anything that we should not be cutting. And you're gonna try to just get it as centered as you could. I like to use the side air tab pieces as like a guide, like kind of look in the mirror at them and see if they are even on each side. That's how I pretty much get a sense of, you know, if it's centered or not, or so that you don't have too much lace on one side and not enough on the other. And then I like to go in, and the first thing that I like to do is to cut off that extra lace on the side where the ear tabs are. You're gonna wanna make sure you are actually taking your time and being very, very careful doing this, because I have nipped myself on the ear a few times doing this. So if you're a beginner and you have someone that can help you, then hey, let someone help you. So once you do the first side, you wanna pull it down and make sure it fits, but you don't wanna pull it too much where you make the wig shift. And then you're gonna just do the same exact thing, very carefully. Take your time, and you're gonna do the other side. And then you're gonna pull it down, and you're gonna make sure it's even, make sure it's where you want it to be, where you need it to be, and then you'll be ready for your install. Before you begin to install, you're gonna wanna take a cotton ball or something with some alcohol and clean your forehead, you know, dirt, oil, makeup, whatever. If you don't have alcohol, you can very well use witch hazel, that works too, or whatever you have. Just give it a minute and let it dry. Today we're gonna be going in with our Ghost Bond glue. I've never used this glue before. You guys know I always use Erica J glue, or I use my bowl hole, which I love. But this glue had gotten really good reviews, and I've had it for a while and wanted to try it, so I figured I'll try it this time and see what all the hype is about. So you're gonna just go around your hairline, right above your hairline. You guys know usually I use my white eyeliner pencil as a guide to make dots, but unfortunately I just didn't have it handy while I was making this video, so I'm just gonna use the glue. I pretty much know where I put my glue at anyway, so this is our first layer, and we are just going to go in with a popsicle stick and just smooth the hair back. Make sure you do the same thing to the other side, trying your best not to touch your actual hairline. If you do, it's fine. I've had experience with the glue before, and thank God I've never lost my edges. So you're gonna do that first layer, and then you're gonna let it dry, completely dry clear, and then we're gonna go in with our second layer. And we're gonna do the same thing. Some people go in with 3 to 5 layers, I know. Some of the manufacturers of these adhesives recommend you do between 3 and 5 layers. Me, personally, I don't think that you need that many layers, so I usually just go in with 2. That's usually enough for me. I don't like all of the gunk and having to, you know, get it off when it's time to get it off. So you're gonna go in with this second layer again, nice and thin. Use your popsicle stick, whatever you have, glue it on, let it dry clear before you begin to pull your wig down. And once you pull your wig down, you want to make the lace kind of grab on to the glue. Like, I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it so that it makes sense, but it's like you just pull it over where you want it to lay, and the glue, it'll just fall down and kind of melt into the glue. That's where the term melt comes from. And once you do that, I just use the back of my comb and I just push it down into the glue. Now what I did notice with this glue is I did wait for it to turn clear, but once I started pushing it down, it turned white. So I'm hoping and praying that it doesn't stay white. I'm hoping that it actually does turn back to clear. I guess we'll see. It could also be that, you know, I'm just pressing it in too hard, and I really don't recommend you guys do that, but I was pressing it in pretty hard, so that could be why it turned white. I don't know if you guys can see here that whiteness, or, you know, if it's showing on camera or not, but yeah, it was turning white, so hopefully it'll turn back to clear. So just push it in to where you want it to be and let it, you know, just sit there for a second. And then I go on with my scissors and I kind of cut flaps in the lace. Some people take their scissor and they just cut straight across. from ear to ear. I don't like to do that. I think it's a lot easier and a lot more convenient when you work in small sections. And just use, some people cut more than 3 sections, but you can count however many sections you want. It doesn't matter. Just work in small sections. And then you can take your eyebrow razor and just slowly and carefully with this as well, because I've nipped my forehead with this doing it as well. Take your time, and you want to just use small back and forth soaring type motions. It gives the lace a nice jagged edge, and it's not so straight across, because we know that, you know, a natural hairline is not just straight across. So this really gives it that jagged look. It makes it look more natural, which is another reason why I like to use the razor as opposed to using scissors, because scissors is gonna just give it that straight across look. So this is what this side is looking like. Not bad. And what I did start noticing is that the glue is drying again clear, so that's a good thing. Hopefully, you know, it stays clear. So we're going to do the same thing over on the other side. We're going to make sure we're taking our time and we're doing this and we're being careful. Not sure if I want to do baby hairs or not. I do want to do baby hairs actually. I just know that I'm not really good at it, so I know that because this is curly hair, I want to do something really fun and flirty, but I still want it to look natural. So I guess we will see, you know, if it comes out natural looking or fun and flirty, because I know I do need practice with the baby hairs, but we'll get there. So we're going to continue just cutting off the lace on this side, pushing down whatever needs to be pushed down. If you notice that there's any lace that's still up that needs to be glued down, you can use the tip of your rat tail comb. I like to do that because it's very small and it's very precise, and you can get it where you want it to be. This wig already had baby hairs cut in it, so what I did was I just took my edge brush and I used my TRESemme firm holding mousse, and I just put down a little bit of baby hair as naturally as I could. Now what you're going to want to do with this is, because it's water based, you're going to want to kind of hurry up and do it, because the lace is not cured to the glue yet. So using a water-based product, if you take too long, the lace will start to lift up. So take your time. So hurry up and do it if you could. But as you guys see, I was kind of struggling, but I think it came out cute. So far, I like it. I was going for that fun, flirty, natural look. I didn't want too much and not, you know, something that wasn't noticeable, but I think I like it. It looks good. I think it looks cute. Pat myself on the back. I think I did a good job with it that time. But anyway, guys, that's it. This is what she's looking like. Of course, I'm going to spray her with some water off camera, and I'll insert some clips of what she wound up looking like. And yes, I like the baby hair. They came out nice. That's what this side looked like. This is what the other side looked like. I think it is fun and flirty. I think it's just enough. It's not too much, but anyway, guys, I'll insert some pictures and let you see what they look like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.